Well, folks, shit has officially hit the fan, at least in a local vicinity. While we were working on the farm, apparently something caught the house on fire. But that's not exactly what this video is about. I want to tell you my experience the last few days. Granted to say, I did not have the best insurance. As a matter of fact, it's not full coverage or nothing. But even so, this happened on, let's see, let me get the calendar here, Friday afternoon on the 6th of November, and didn't get hold of the insurance till the 9th, and on the 10th they put me up in a hotel room. Now, until then, I was sleeping in that little gray shed that you see beside that house burning down. Now, here's the rest of the story that I want to get on to tell you before anybody considers moving to Wilson County. I went and found a cheap RV that I could have stayed out there on the property and watched everything. Wilson County says that no one in Wilson County can live in an RV on their own property. You cannot reside in an RV on your own property. Does anybody say there is no privately owned property anymore? If you don't pay rent on it every year, they take it away from you. And even if you do pay rent, they say, oh, you can't live on it. Not in an RV. And some of these RVs are pretty nice. Matter of fact, the one I looked at was fairly nice. It was small, but big enough. It would have been enough for me. No. Can't put it out there. Well, you know what, Wilson County? I hope you watch this, because when I do get the settlement, I'm going to put an RV out there. And I'm going to live in it. And I'm going to dare you to come out there and say anything about it. If you want to cut the electricity off, fine. I'll put solar up. If you want to cut the water off, fine. I'll put rain catch up there. Well, I know I probably won't be able to stay there, but it's a nice thought. Talk about, why would anybody want to buy any land if you don't get to own it? You can't even live on it. And talk about, I'm in the Bible Belt. You tell me what's Christian about telling somebody that's house just burnt down that they can't even put an RV on their property until it gets cleaned up, or, or a temporary place to live. Is there anything Christian about that? Anybody that says Tennessee's in the Bible Belt is full of crap. Granted, I mean, I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't been a member of the local church. I mean, they showed up, the neighbors showed up right away. Granted, I had a shed to stay in. I wasn't homeless. Well, I guess I would. I don't know. That shed could be a home. And, those few nights I spent in that shed, I started looking at it and I started saying, this is pretty big. This might make a good home. I wonder what the building inspector will say if I live in that shed there and just sit there and crap out in the middle of the lawn. Well, they don't want me to have an RV, so undoubtedly you got to live in a tent or a shed or something else, right? But anyway, me and the dogs wasn't even there. This happened in the afternoon. We had been working on the farm, bush hogging, and I was in a rush to get to town before the inspection for my tags closed down. And by the time, while I was in town, neighbors told me that my house was on fire. And this is what I seen by the time I got back. So it was already gone. I mean, and that fire truck wasn't able to do much. It's completely gone. I don't have another picture. This is from the Lebanon Democrat. I am working to get this cheap phone I bought. It's got a couple of pictures, but it's totaled out. Me and the dogs got out. We were, like I say, going to town. Uh, the best guess, I know I shouldn't guess. I'm going to say it was probably a dryer fire. So I'm going to tell people, clean out your dryer lint. And, seeing as that I had been in bad shape, I did let maintenance fall a little bit, but it shouldn't have been that bad. I don't understand. Never mind. Yep. That's the house I grew up in. I've been there almost 50 years. Well, not quite. 40 years. I've been there 40 years. Was it 55? Yeah, over 40 years. I was there when we remodeled that house. There's a lot of history there. I was kind of wanting to get me a video camera and do a walk around and do a historical thing before, but I guess that's over with. I was going to kind of take the video, walk y'all through the house and show you all the history of it. Seeing as that it was for sale and I didn't care if anybody knew I lived where I live now, so that was what I had planned to do, but well, you can just look at it and I'll tell you it was pre-Civil War. It's around 1860s. It was built. The front half, the bottom half, back half was remodeled by my dad in the 70s. And it used to be all white. He bricked over it. He bricked over the white stuff of that house. Back in the 70s, went brick. And that front, where you see that carport going out, that used to be a patio because those two windows right above the carport, they used to be swinging doors, like Dutch doors where you could walk out on it. I hated it when my dad didn't leave those doors up there. That would have been so cool, man. As a kid, you have your like a fort above the thing. But anyway, I digress. That's about it. Main part of this video is to let y'all know that Wilson County, I tell you what, man, the libtards are out of control. The bureaucrats are out of control. When you can't even, the right of property ownership in Tennessee, at least Wilson County, is ended. There is no private property ownership in Wilson County. If you can't even live in an RV, you can't, it's yours. You should be able to live in an RV. Anyway, at least for a temporary emergency thing. So Wilson County doesn't want anybody to have any emergency preparedness. You can't live if your house burns, you can't live in the shed. You can't live in the box. Horse hooey. Bull.